in the blue hell is wrong with you?
I'm the party pooper.
What does that mean? What does that mean? We are sexy. We are sexy bitches. Yeah.
Shut up!
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed.
All right. Hello, my babies. Welcome to another exciting episode of So Be It. I'm your humble host, Cyrus, here to titillate your audio holes one episode at a time. And again, as always, the views and expressions on So Be It do not reflect those of YouTube. Any YouTube channel, any YouTube internet radio station, any kind of internet radio station, or terrestrial radio station for that matter. However, they do reflect those of the haterade drinking Shiba monkeys. So, my babies, my apologies for the absence the last week. I actually kind of took a little breather, kind of did a little something for myself, and I took a trip down south to Sarasota, my old stomping ground of the last almost 3 years. So, well, I haven't been down there in a year, so, the 3 years that I was there, let's put it that way. So, a lot of stuff happened. I left here on Sunday and ended up going down to Apollo Beach, making a pit stop, seeing some friends of mine. Actually, my first supervisor from my Toys R Us days, Le Benson, saw him and his wife. So they're doing really good. And you're about to have a very interesting yet very good time when you're only out of the car about a minute or two. And within that first minute or two, the tequila and the bourbon come out. Oof. And for those of you, who have known me for several years and are in my inner circle, me and tequila don't mix. Because when we do, bad things tend to happen. Things kind of explode. My friends are checking to make sure I'm not on Facebook, stuff like that. So, but it was good to see all of them again. They, all the people there at Apollo Beach, the neighbors that they have, because they were also the ones who were, trying to convince me that, I needed to come back down or stay down and come back down and get a house in the subdivision that they're in. And which, I'm not going to lie, it's a pretty cool place. Pretty nice subdivision. The houses are they're a little closer together than my liking, and a little, kind of too new age, because, everybody in this day and age is all about, hardwood floors. I want hardwood floors. Me, I'm just like, dude, give me a house with carpet and I'm good, man. Maybe a few tile, but, carpet for me is nice. I like it. So then moved on to SRQ on Monday. Went down to one of my old stomping grounds, Munchie's 420 Cafe. They have some of the most ballin' sandwiches I've ever had in my life, and chicken wings. Did not take the fire in your hole wing challenge. That is the date and time for that is to be determined. I'm probably going to tag team and do it with the coach. So the both of us will probably, nearly kill ourselves doing it. So I don't know how I would pull this off, but I may try to do like a remote broadcast from Munchies if they'll let me, as the coach and I are doing it. It's going to be just to give you all a heads up, it's going to be very difficult for me to talk while doing that, because the sauce that they mix up for this is rather insane. If I remember all the ingredients correctly, I'm probably omitting a few by accident, but I know there's jalapeno, habanero, chili powder, crushed red pepper, serrano, and a rather liberal amount of ghost chili extract. unless they've changed the ingredients sometime within the last couple years, because I know for a fact that the ghost chili is no longer the hottest pepper on the planet. It was usurped by I believe, the Carolina Reaper, which is a hybrid. Hey, Sidekick, what's happening, man? And so, and for those of you who are wondering, for those who didn't see me while I was down there, I just want to kind of apologize to all of you. It's not that I didn't want to see you. I did. It's just a laundry list of people. And to be perfectly frank, I just ran out of time. Honest to God, I did, because it seemed like every other second I was going somewhere else. So it was a relaxing vacation week, but it was also a very busy one. So, Sidekick, I just wanted to get that out there to you personally, man, because I know you wanted me to mention when I was coming back in town. I ran out of time, man. So if I could have, I would have, but I'm going to try to come back down during the summer. I'm not sure when, and maybe June and maybe July. I just don't know. So I'll try to get back down there, and you'll be one of the first ones that I contact for sure. So, but to get back on the whole munchies kick, yes, if you're in Georgia, let me know. Absolutely. Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. Yes. So getting back on the munchies kick, that's the laundry list of ingredients that they did put in the fire in your whole wings. I don't know if they've changed it. Regardless, what will more than likely happen is, besides the fact that I will feel like I got shot in the tongue, my speech will probably be slurred because the burn is going to be intense. And to be perfectly honest, trying to talk while you're doing the wing challenge and describing it, that will be absolutely utter chaos. Because for those of you who haven't seen it, the original host of Man vs. Food, Adam Richman, attempted it about 10 years ago, and it drove him insane. But to be fair, the people who kind of created it who made it for him at the time kind of, duped him and put way more extract in there than they should have, which could have damn well killed him. So, yeah, for those of you who are like, you could die from hots, yes, it can happen. If you put enough in for something and the heat is intense enough, it can do some serious damage. So, which is why extremely spicy food like this is not for the faint of heart at all. So, anyway, got the Fat Sandy. Always have to. That's like my go-to there. My second go-to is the buffalo tenders. They're pretty good. So, but most of the week I just kind of cruised around. I went to Lido Beach. Saw a former pupil of mine who's a sophomore now. She's doing very, very well. Met with her and her mom, who is a former parent volunteer of mine at the kitchen at the military school, middle school that I was at. Met up with the two of them. The former pupil, nearly Sav knows who she is. Nearly asphyxiated me with the hug that I got. Nearly split me in half, but hey, it's all good. I missed it. And the various other people that I saw too. Two of my volunteers who only appeared on Thursdays, went and met with them on Wednesday morning. And Thursday was actually pretty cool because I spent most of the day with the coach, rolling around the Ellington area, Palmetto, and got to check out some pretty cool places up there, which is really awesome because I never really visited that part of town very much. I did like maybe one or two times when we were on the road with the basketball team, but other than that, I really had no business going up there. So there's really no need. Although my last year down there, I really wish I would have. So I should have taken a trip up there sooner, but hey, it is what it is. But one part of the trip that was not so good, and this might piss off a few people. I don't know, probably not. But, and the coach already knows about this, but while I was down there, I got contacted by an account on Instagram that I have no idea who they are. It's I Heart Captain Beckman. It's an alias. And no idea who runs this, but apparently a message was sent that a former pupil, if not a few of them, believe the story or believe the events of the military end of an era military school saga part 2, what the middle school was saying about me. And yeah, I'm on spring break, I'm on vacation, it's pretty badass week, I'm enjoying myself, but something like that, it still disappoints you, especially when you take time to try and mentor a person, which I did with this one. And I did the best that I could, and I kept it as real as I possibly could, and just did everything in my power to help said person when they needed it, whether they wanted to admit it or not. And I was always brutally honest, and which is something I pride myself on being, telling people what they need to hear versus what they want to hear, because that's all anybody ever wants to do anymore is, listen and only hear what they want to hear. So, but just to have somebody turn on you like that, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails, and it did for me. And to find it out a year later, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some of you out there like, well, it's been a year, so it shouldn't really bother you, shouldn't really care. Well, yeah, that's true to a certain extent, but it doesn't change the fact that it still kind of kidney punches you when, like I said, you put your heart and soul into something, and whether or not they were there at the beginning of your tenure or not, you still scoop them up, and you see something and you're like, okay, this person is worth mentoring. And that's going to sound probably really derogatory, like, oh, so you're not saying everybody's worth it? That's not what I'm saying. It just, you see something in someone that you're like, okay, that is definitely something that needs to be nurtured. And whether it's, athleticism or an extremely high IQ, whatever it might be, I saw something and I did the best I could to kind of, take her under my wing along with many of the others. Like the K to the Jack McDaniels, he's out there. The Healy, he's out there, and then Fracky, just to name a few. Left from Boise, Idaho is another one. Miss Davies, who makes a, sometimes appearance every now and then on this show. So there's a lot of them. And this one, she just happened to be one of them, Erod. So I don't understand it. And I mean, it's one of those things where I kind of wish that she would have come to me and asked me the question herself. Be like, all right, what exactly happened? Because, I mean, like I said, it's been a year. I haven't been employed down there in a year. I've got no problem explaining myself now. Just back then, I was rather cautious because for reasons that are my own. So, but anyway, that's just it kind of ate at me the first day or two, but now I'm just kind of thinking back on, I'm like, well, not really getting my side of things and not really, asking me and looking at all as a big picture and just taking it for what it's worth is pretty damn stupid. Which sucks because Erod's a pretty smart person, whether she wants to admit it or not. She really is. But, just to take something for what its value, be like, oh my God, he did horrible, terrible things. Well, no, no, I didn't. So I don't know. I guess the stupidity of it is the other disappointing factor because I thought she was smarter than that, but guess not. So, but anyway, probably one of the highlights of the trip and something that I always really enjoyed doing was heading out towards Lido Key. You pass by the sailor statue, which weeks ago got vandalized with that hashtag Me Too bullshit. taking a right and going out over the causeway and just going over the bridge. Especially, I mean, it was kind of cloudy when I went out there, so it kind of got my style cramped just a little bit. But on a particular on a sunny day, just going over the bridge, the water shimmering, and you see all the buildings, the condos, and the little mom and pop shops going in, and it's something that if you have really sore eyes, it takes care of it almost instantaneously. Just looking around, and you just get an overall good feeling. You don't even have to be out. You can still be in your damn car, but you feel good. You're like, man, look at where I am right now. This is just badass. And it's good. Life is good. And, I visited one of my favorite shops, Stadium Gallery, that's down there. Very, very pricey. Being a mom and pop joint with sports stuff. I mean, especially with what I consider is more than likely outrageous rent for where he is. Oof, no wonder. But I saw this pretty badass picture of The Godfather. It's from the first Godfather movie, and it's like a caricature drawing and painting of every single character that's in that movie, just about. All the main characters anyway. You got a huge Luca in the back right corner, and then, of course, Sonny is in the back left. And the Godfather's sitting behind his desk, his cheeks like pooched out like a chipmunk. You have Michael sitting there looking cold and calculating with a distrusting K over his shoulder. And it's a great painting. I loved it, but for $150, I didn't really love it that much. So, but I don't know if I get more capital and if he just happens to still have that painting the next time I go back, I'm pretty sure it's going to come home with me. So it is absolutely glorious. And just taking a walk on the beach was great. Like I said, even though it was cloudy and it kind of started raining on me, but I had the beach to myself, so I couldn't really complain all that much. And it makes me really glad that I chose to go back to Sarasota, just because, I mean, when people think spring break destinations and, like, oh my God, party, jello shots, dude. People don't really think of Sarasota. Because there's a lot of retired people that go there, a lot of snowbirds. They go to like Panama City, which is kind of still in a little bit of ruins right now. They go to Panama City, they go to Miami, they go to Daytona. Some go to St. Augustine if they're kind of more want like the historical thing. Some go to Biloxi, New Orleans, the Keys, those kind of places. I don't really think there's a lot of people who think Sarasota is like, oh my God, party town. But that's okay, because I've got friends that are down there, so it ends up being a party for me anyway. So epic win-win for me. The other not so fun part of it was the drive back. Now, those of you who know me, my foot can get a little heavy from time to time. Well, having said that, the trip normally takes me about 7 to 8 hours. Yeah. Coming back. Hell no. By my count, it took me just under 10 and a half hours to get back. And I left on Saturday morning. I left Saturday. And it's a damn good thing that I did, because I have a feeling yesterday would have been a lot worse, and I would have been in an even more pissed off mood today than I normally would be. So I left Sarasota. I get up to Ocala. Now, as I'm doing this, the way the traffic's flowing, it's bumper to bumper, and it's pretty much solid all as far as you can see in front of you. And it backs up to where you slow down, going like 5-10 miles an hour, clumps up, and then it opens up a little bit. You go about maybe 10-15 minutes, and then it clumps back up again, and it's just ongoing. Needless to say, your brakes get a workout. Big time. So that lasted for about 2 hours for me. So I get about maybe 10 miles outside of Ocala. And this is only 2 hours into my journey, mind you. I have my CB radio hooked up in my car, and a trucker proceeds to crackle over the radio and say, for those of you around approaching mile marker 321, you're about to stop dead. He said traffic is backed up for about 10 miles straight, give or take a little bit, and they are pretty much stopped dead. If you can find a way around it, I would do so. So, of course, I take a look at what mile marker I'm at. I'm at like 309. Went, shit. So pull my GPS out real quick, get it plugged up, program in where I'm going, and then hit detour. Luckily, I did it at that time because I was about a mile away from the exit it wanted me to take. So I jump off, and I take some back roads through like a little town, Bushnell, and some other town that started with a C. I don't know. I don't really remember it. If I saw it on a map, I could. But I ended up taking about 11-mile detour north. And lanes are wide open, country road. I've got the windows down. I'm like, this is freaking great. I'm loving it. And truth be told, if there were gas stations, every, 50, 100 miles or so, and I knew the road came all the way up here to Atlanta, I more than likely would have taken it the whole way up. It was that cool. I mean, the towns would have slowed me down, but, no big deal compared to, going 5 to 10 miles an hour every 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'm bypassing all this crap. Hopefully it'll open up. I can jump on the interstate and be good for a little while. Hell no. Get to the Florida Turnpike. Jammed. And jump on. It's about 2 miles to 75. I go maybe 10 miles an hour, the fastest, and stopping, 10 miles an hour, stopping. Jump on 75 is the same damn thing, still cluttered. So I can't win for anything. So about 3 hours later, I make it to Valdosta. Jump off, take a little break, jump back on the road, and I make it about 150 miles north. And I get stopped again. And it's just, I'm like, okay, it's going to happen to me the whole damn way home. And it pretty much did. Got north of Macon. I made it to the express lanes, jumped on, was able to bypass it. And luckily, the rest of 75 and 285 was wide open. But I left at about, I want to say about 11:45. And about 9:30-ish, 9:15, somewhere in there, I was pulling in. So, yeah, absolute hell. And the only other time I remember having that much trouble traveling on a weekend was when I was a kid. My parents and I went up to my grandmother's in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was only about 4 or 5 hours away for Thanksgiving. We were coming back. Took us 9 hours to get home. So, yeah, we were like, we ain't doing this again. Hell no. So, overall, it was good, and it was good to see a lot of people, a lot of people that I used to hang around with, and, former students that I used to, kind of take under my wing and try to advise them the best I could. They're in high school. They're doing great. Doing very well. But like I said, there was a laundry list of people that I didn't really get to see because, like I said, I just ran out of time. There just wasn't enough time. If I'd been down there this week as well, then obviously it would be a different story. I could have done a lot more and had a lot more time to do things. But, we don't always get what we wish for. So I'm just thankful for the time that I did have. And for those of you that are listening and who got to see me, it was good seeing you. But for those of you who didn't, don't take it personally. It's just the way it played out. All right. It's not, again, like I didn't want to see any of you. I did. Time wasn't on my side, and I did the best with what I had. So I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And interestingly enough, and last little tidbit I'll give you guys. Thursday morning, I made a little bit of a gamble and went back to the military academy. the middle school. I decided I was going to stop and see an old friend, somebody, the secretary that I worked with. And driving over there, I kind of had a little bit of an uneasy feeling, for obvious reasons. I'm like, I need to go in there with the mentality of, okay, this could go bad. So I said, all right, I'm going to find me a parking space to where if I need to make a quick getaway, I can. I'm in a car powerful enough to do it. So, yeah. So that's what I did. I parked in a good spot. It would let me get out super fast if I need to make a quick getaway. And I said, all right, turn the car off. Said, all right, let's go see how warm the water is. And as I was driving in, I saw the nurse out there, Nurse Trake. Those of you may know her from the Raiders, Junior Raiders. She's awesome. She's a badass. Love her to death. Went up to her. She was talking to two parents that I didn't know, probably Raider parents, trying to kiss ass. I don't know. They seem like nice people, so I'm not going to really judge, even though I just kind of did. Anyway, she caught sight of me and broke out in a really huge smile and was like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, whew, all right. Water seems warm for now. The real test is going to be when I get inside. So I said hey to her. I'm like, hey, I know you're talking. I don't want to interrupt. She goes, yeah, I'll see you inside. Like, yeah, hopefully. So I go walking in. Nobody at the front desk. Like, okay, cool. So go sit down, and I end up meeting a dude who works there who took over Major Hodgepodge's place. Kind of a weird guy, not gonna lie, but nice enough. He introduced himself and talked to me for a little bit. I'm like, all right, this dude's nice enough. So told him I used to work there, and he was a runner because they just entered testing season. I'm like, good luck. He's like, well, it's kind of boring. There's nothing going on. I'm not being used. I'm like, wait for it, pal. They use you for a runner. Trust me, it'll avalanche when you least expect it. I speak from experience because I used to do that. So he's like, oh, okay. Well, thanks for the tip, man. Like, it's not really a tip, but all right. Well, here comes the secretary around the corner. She didn't see me. She sits down behind her computer. I wait to see if she notices me. Doesn't. She doesn't. So I get up, walk over to her. I'm like, all right, moment of truth. Here we go. And she looks up at me. I go, hey, stranger. And she breaks out into a big smile going, oh my God, what are you doing here? I'm like, yes. All right, the water is warm. It's not completely ice cold like I thought it would be. Pleasant surprise. I don't think I've ever been more happy to be proven wrong than I was in that moment. I was like, thank you, Jeebus. So I was like, all right. So talked to her for a little bit, and then the registrar, Eriv, comes out. She's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh my God, you Puerto Rican beauty. I have missed you. And Nurse Trake came in and we got talking, all three of us, or all four of us. And I told Eriv, I'm like, I said, you would be proud of me because at the school that I'm at now, at least more than a dozen times, I've used your catchphrase. I cannot with you. Which she did that to me when I was there. She did that to me probably about 5 times a day, every single day. Or she would use another variation of, I cannot stand you. And she could because, I tried to liven the place up a little bit, be the comedic relief. And I like to think that I succeeded. But she looked at me when I said that. She goes, wait. She goes, out of all that, that's what you took away from all this. I'm like, well, no, that's not everything. She started laughing and stuff. I was there for, probably about an hour. And one of the assistant heads of school came out. The more serious one, Baxter. And she saw me. She knew I was there. But funnily enough, she did not say one word to me. Not one. She just acted like I wasn't there at all, which kind of goes back to if you guys remember part 2, I talked about the exit survey that I was given, and one of the things that part of the question was, what are some things that you can see that can improve the academy or the middle school campus as a whole? And I just chose the middle school campus. And the first thing that I railed on, if y'all remember, was the disciplinary action on the campus. For those of you who don't remember it, go to end of an era, the military school academy, or no shit. I'm getting the episodes all mixed up. Oh, this is episode 30, and trying to remember them all is kind of insane, but it was the end of an era, the military school saga part 2. Towards the end, I talk about the exit survey. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go there, listen to it. You'll understand this part a lot better. So it kind of proved my theory a little bit that the exit survey that I submitted was leaked to them, and which it shouldn't have been. And if I had any really solid evidence, I would, just bury that person, teabags for it even further. But at this point, I don't think it would do any good because she already got fired anyway. So yeah, she's a lost cause by now. So anyway, I thought it was hysterical. It didn't make me angry. It didn't make me upset. I thought it was funny. I'm like, wow, hashtag petty. So anyway, she went marching back. She didn't say one word to me. I'm like, yeah, I almost did, but I was like, nah. And who do I see not 5 minutes later but head of school, HOD. And he was friendly and everything, and he talked to me as if absolutely nothing happened at all. I'm like, wow, okay. So, he asked how I was, what I was doing, and I told him, and he said, yeah, he goes, that's the rumor going on around here. Wait a second, what? Like, what rumor? What are you talking about? So I guess some former pupils of mine heard, and, it just got around, which, it's a school. I mean, it's like it's like I've said many, many, many times on this show. It's like the retail environment. Something gets mentioned or whatever, people with the day off already know. So anyway, I ended up leaving, but it was all good, all positive. I have not been banned, as far as I know. I have not been banned from the campus. It's not as hostile as the high school was to the coach. So that's probably the one thing I got going for me. So just thought you guys might like the little interesting little tidbit that I did in fact go back. And so but the people there, they outweigh what happened, and the fact that those three were still incredibly positive with me, that made me feel really good. So all good trip, all good experience all around. So again, I apologize for the lack of activity last week, but I decided, you know what? It's spring break. I want to just enjoy myself and not worry about unhooking and reassembling all my equipment and then just having to tear it down again and transport it and blah, 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 blah. Call me lazy if you want to. I don't give a shit. It's how I felt. It's what I wanted to do. So, but I'm back, and hopefully everything will continue to go on the show smoothly. So anyway, I wouldn't mind more viewers though. So if you guys have any friends or anybody who think you might like the ramblings of a crazy 30-year-old dude, pass them along. Send them along to the show, and I'll be more than happy to try to titillate their audio holes too. And I haven't really pitched this in a while. But if any of you have friends, or if any of you personally are kind of feeling, really down, really depressed, suicidal, anything like that, or just need somebody to talk to, my email is still open. The email account for this show I still set up. CyrusSobeit@gmail.com. It's SIRUSSOBEIT @gmail.com. There's no caps, there's no spaces. So, flood the emails with the email with anything you want to talk to me about. Or if you have a friend who you're not really sure how to help and wouldn't mind some insight or a little bit of guidance, I'll be more than happy to do that too. It's what I'm here for because, suicide is on the rise, sadly, and it's the worst that me personally I've ever seen it. It seems like there's more reports of it every single day. So I want to try to put the brakes on it just a little bit. I mean, I'm only one person, but hell, I can still try. So anyway, I will catch you guys later. I thank you all for tuning in and listening. So until next time, take care, friends.